This video is part of the SuperSmall Expert Spotlight, recorded live at AI House on December 18th. In this workshop, SuperSmall co-founder David Niu focuses on one of the most critical stages of building a business, turning a validated idea into real revenue through effective pricing, packaging, and sales. In this section, we focus on packaging and the idea of assortment, how the way you structure and present options can guide customer choice and increase confidence in what they buy.
So the next one, I'm going to play this video, and I love the simplicity of this video. And this is from Michael Deering at Harrison Metal, who is a VC who invested in my company, and he breaks this down about assortments. Now, this is particularly important if you're on the startup space where you don't exactly know what people will really value and want. So let me try to press play, and hopefully, and I'll put my, yes, you bet. All right, so let's see. I'm going to play this.
Pricing is a sacred act of capitalism. There's a math part to pricing, but the judgment part is so much more interesting. And you might think that you have to get your pricing just exactly right, like it's a puzzle with one answer or a bullseye on an invisible target. But that isn't true. Even if there were just one right answer, which there isn't, you would never be able to guess it perfectly. So use assortments to make the uncertainty work for you. A vertical assortment offers a good, better, and a best version of a product. A horizontal assortment offers breadth in your product line, like an apple, an orange, and a pear. Both of these types of assortments capture more of the total market demand. They match features and prices to different user segments. This is what Dolan calls price customization. Assortments save founders from having to hit the bullseye of a single product at a single price to build their business. This is a really old idea that works. You can see it in the ruins of Pompeii, in early 20th century Sears catalogs, and pretty much everywhere you look online and offline today. Assortments recognize two truths. Demand is diverse, and product variations are cheap for founders and valuable to customers. A third type of assortment comes from offering optional add-ons or upgrades. Maybe your best guess about what features belong in a good, better, or best product is wrong. Optional add-ons offer customers more ways to customize the features they buy and the prices they pay. That makes customers happier and excited to buy what you're selling. And if they ever stop liking that add-on, they don't have to stop buying the rest of the product. Assortments, vertical, horizontal, or add-on features are powerful tools for founders. Assortments are for winners. Be a winner.
All right. So the reason why I love that video is the fact that you don't have to get it just right? Throwing the dart at the bullseye. You're able to use assortments to help you better understand where my customers may be, because you might think something is important to them, but they don't. So you don't know. So you put it out there, and then you're going to be able to quickly see that. Right, so he talks about these value adds, these sweeteners or perceived value triggers, right? So what do they look like? So in software, they can be things like access to a template library, access to video recordings, early access to beta features, right? These are very cheap and sometimes even beneficial for us, like people trying out early beta features for us to give us feedback. In something like services, you can do a customized offering. Here's our standard, but if you want to customize, it's going to cost you a little bit more. You can do rush delivery. Oh, usually it takes us 10 business days to do this report. You want like your title or your inspection for your house. You want that quicker? Rush service. Follow-on training afterwards if you want a refresher. Sure, we can do that. It's just going to cost you a little bit. On top of that, other ones that I think are kind of fun is what Amex does, member sense. Right? A lot of people don't want to cancel their Amex card because they've been a member for a long time, so they like to keep that. Super cheap for them. If you ever use Waze, people like to get their badges and their notifications. There's some gamification. And streaks. In Tiny Pulse, we did this like every week or every 2 weeks, you would do an employee engagement survey, and we'd give you a streak. and someone went on vacation and they got a survey and it broke their streak and they went to 0. They were super upset. They wrote us and they said, can you reset my streak because it's very important. I'm like, whoa, this person really cares about their streak, and it's only good for me because they're using my product, so their company will keep paying for it, right?
How much did it cost you to get their streak back up?
Oh, nominal, yeah, super easy, right? So let's go through a few examples before we do the pricing clinic. So the one that you folks did to sign up is Luma, right? So there's a free version and a Luma Plus version. What are some of the things that you think would motivate someone to go from free to the Plus? Yes, the check-in manager, so you know that's paying.
Invite limits.
Invite limits, 5,000. Yeah, yes. So those are some of the things that really stood out. And over here, you know, it's a 5% platform fee for paid events. And over here, collecting taxes. Like, who wants to do taxes, right? You just want them to do it for you, right? Because if you sometimes have to collect the taxes, if you don't, in Washington State, you're paying the 10.1%, right? So you're like, of course I want to do that. Or I'm going to have an odd price. Instead of $99 for Founder Series, you'd be like 99 times, I don't know, like $108 something cents, right? It just feels weird. And then here are some of their add-ons, right? Like the weekly sends. So if you have a big event, you have 10,000 people, boom, you know, it's just going to cost you a little bit more on the add-on. And in the back of your mind, you're like, well, it kind of makes sense because they have to send it out, but really it probably costs them a penny. But, you know, you're like, well, I need to get that out there and maybe I'll make it back. Yes. Yeah, so if you're too rapacious, I don't think people like, and given the fact that people are vibe coding and there's alternatives, I think we have to be very careful and mindful of that. So here's another one. This is Calendly. A lot of people use Calendly, so these are common examples. What are some that would force people to go from free to standard? Yeah, you want them to show up, right? Your time is money, right? Your time is very valuable, right? And then you think about from the standard to the teams, well, what are some of these things? Well, when I ran a team, they cared about, if we didn't have territories, all this stuff. You know, are we going to round robin to people? Well, you don't want someone bottleneck to be like assigning that. You just want that to be automated on that. And then, of course, we wanted it to be connected to our HubSpot to make that easy. So you can see as the pricing goes this way, there's going to be more for like things that are around managing teams. And then finally, you know, for enterprise, it's going to be a lot around like security and type of stuff like that.
And I would say that anybody that has a SaaS company where there's sharing involved, that's a key one to be able to jump up in price, because nobody wants to share passwords. Nobody wants to, you know, reach out to people and waste time. They just want, you know, to add those users and have it be a team membership. All
right, last one, ChatGPT, right? What would cause someone to go from free to plus and plus to pro? I mean, this is $20. That's like a order of magnitude, right? So let's talk about free to plus. Boaz?
I don't want to be limited, David. Every single one of those is limited.
Yeah.
Limited. Not, you know, that's the thing about, you know, they don't say anything about training data, even though we know about the free version. But it just seems like everything feels less than.
And then for the pro, it's then unlimited, maximum memory, expanded projects, and so forth, right? So those are some of the things that make people jump from free to plus to pro. So when you're thinking about doing your assortments, that's what you'll be wanting to do in the pricing.